Hi Aries, here's a general look at your solar chart for November 2010. I think there's a lot going on inside of you at the moment. You're sort of preoccupied in a way. Maybe there's a deal on your mind, or maybe it's to do with a personal relationship. Until the 22nd, it's a transformational phase when you'll be shifting your position maybe, or shifting one gear to the next, but in the process feeling a bit defensive at times, self-protective, or protecting something, because you're gauging where your priorities lie and how best to move forwards. You know there's a bigger, brighter future for you. You can sense it as you hanker for some adventure and broader horizons maybe. Some of you may be traveling or having more contact, more communications with those at a distance at the moment. Definitely gathering, new ideas, playing maybe with some ideas, especially from the 9th. Communications activity is going to be highlighted more strongly from then, and you should be casting your mental nets wider and maybe the receiver or giver of knowledge or counsel, or in fact you could be consulting with someone, or they could be consulting with you. And this is also a great time for strategies, Aries, plotting and planning for the future, which you can only do by, you should do by using obviously your logic, but also your intuition's working very well at the moment, so you can do that by listening to your instincts, your emotional guidance. Discussions or negotiations concerning finances or property, or a joint sort of venture, a joint responsibility maybe, should go well, but it'll go slowly. That's up until the 18th. You need to be patient there. You need to be calm and persevering and keep your eyes peeled for maybe the loophole. Part of the current situation could be due to your not having the control or leeway you'd like regarding finances. You might feel a bit sort of in the corner. You kind of painted yourself into a corner, or maybe circumstances. That could be regarding property or finances, material objects, maybe a sort of a physical space. It could be around a contract or an agreement of some kind, or a moral obligation, in fact, too. Or it could be over some jointly held person, like a child, and feelings could run high. On the flip side of this, you and somebody could be getting a lot closer. There could be some very sizzly moments there. Close relationships are going to be highlighted. This is no time to go it alone, but they can go well. Certain alliances, though, are going to need harder work. So on one level, you may be considering how things stand in a love relationship, or what you share together, or maybe resources, and you've got to organize things between the two of you. You and someone may be getting closer to sharing confidences with each other. Perhaps you're feeling a bit more emotionally sensitive than usual. Someone pushes your buttons, provoking some soul searching and consequently some decision making. But you also sense you've got to avoid giving them the full unedited version of how you are really feeling, keeping your cards closer to your chest, although airing certain aspects of your thoughts or your feelings are going to be easier from the 9th. Now, on another level, the energies favour clearing out old stuff. So externally, that could be you decluttering a space. And internally, that's old attachments or expectations which are now getting in the way of progress. Maybe you should be doing a bit of a feng shui externally and internally so as to clear the decks. There could be an influence around which is very meaningful to you in some way. It triggers deeper feelings, or it frustrates you to a degree because you kind of care a lot. And it may require that you shift your position or change your behavior or alter a routine which leads to a happier state of affairs for yourself. Or it could mean that you reach right outside of the dilemma, if there is one, and sort of sidestep the situation by looking after your own interests free and clear of that particular scenario and not attempt to control them or theirs. Also during this phase, it's likely if you're more inclined to seek maybe the sort of advice I'm giving, like prediction, psychic stuff, spirituality, being more open to guidance, omens, signs, and reading between the lines. This is a very good time for you to be enlarging your social circle, your social sort of physical territory, mixing with others to get a different slant on things, get a bit of breath of fresh air running through, get interested in maybe a new body of knowledge or area of interest. It's also a time when you can better convey your knowledge or expertise to others, especially from the 9th, but avoid being overzealous and try to impose your views on those who just aren't ready to listen. You may be focusing more on healing, self-nurturing, self-understanding. That's to do with the present position of Jupiter in your solar chart. That goes on until late next January. You could be learning a lot in those areas there, Aries. And also, if you find yourself in the position of having to be the support for somebody else, then you could be learning through being more empathic or selfless or spiritual when you are giving them that support, and maybe again being more philosophical and a little bit detached, but not completely sort of closed off, but just being philosophical about it. You're into a time of spiritual renewal, you see, until early next year. And you'll benefit from tackling any self-defeating attitudes or behaviors of your own, whether or not these are triggered by somebody else's behavior, which are regularly causing you grief. So start from here. Saturn, now in the area of close relationships for 2+ years, means you've got to take the longer view, you see, to do with relationships. This will be a time when you have to sort of slowly cultivate your relationships, whether that's personal or professional. Work harder at them, one step at a time. Saturn here will help bring those who can assist you with employment or training or anything else which you have to do regularly, or you've got to build on. That may lead to career advancement. But again, it's, as I say, gradual. Saturn is actually more comfortable in those sort of more formal type one-to-one relationships. It's less comfortable in the emotional area. So in an existing alliance, whether it's personal or professional, you may find that you've just got to work harder at finding the balance which suits both sides. And there will be some frustrating moments. And you just have to maybe, as I say, stand back sometimes, be more patient. Because of somebody else, you may have to take on more of a load, more of a burden on your shoulders. But even so, you've just got to keep steadily plugging away and pushing through those obstacles. Already, many of you could be noticing there's faults or this lack of balance within your current setup. So over this long transit of Saturn, which you'll be reevaluating how things stand, what you want now, which way, both of you are going, and looking at your expectations, their expectations, and how maybe you can make it work. I know patience isn't your strong suit, Aries, but in both personal and professional relationships, slow and sure wins the race at the moment. But indeed, some of you may be realizing that there is a parting of the ways coming. It just depends on your personal situation. Some of you may feel a distinct lack. Then there isn't a relationship and you'd like one. Now, with Saturn here, this is a time when you'll feel the challenge to define clearly to yourself just what type of mate or boss or personal relationship or goal or ambition you want to achieve over the long term. But you've really got to make that crystal clear to yourself. Those already in an alliance, joined up for whatever the reason is, could also get a sense of loneliness or a feeling of a lack of cohesion, of pulling in the same direction with a partner, a family member, a friend, a colleague, an opposite number of some kind. So during the 2+ years that Saturn is here, you'll be doing some deeper questioning at times as you look around you to find that equilibrium within significant relationships. Now, the power of Pluto is being felt across your sign, especially by you early children of the Ram. It's a transit which lasts many years, and this will get you asking deeper questions about who you are now and what you want, how you've been defining yourself, how others have been defining you, what role you're playing in the lives of others, both from a personal or professional standpoint. It'll help you to see just who or what or where has been holding you back from living a more authentic, true-to-life version of who you feel you are now. It'll get you to square up to what or who you need to let go of in order to truly move on. So no pressure there then. From the 22nd, that's a more expansive time when you're going to be learning new things and thinking outside of the box. And that's it for November. If you know your rising sign, listen to that too, because it'll throw another light on what I've said here. And I'll see you the next time.